This Premier League team is shocking the world. Aston Villa FC have made drastic changes within their club over the last few years, and it's likely the reason behind their current success. But there's a method behind the madness that many of today's big clubs, such as Manchester City, the current Premier League champions, have used to get to where they are today. And in this video, we're going to dive into what the reasons behind that success are, because I'm on a mission to provide engaging and in-depth football content for you guys. Let's jump in. Aston Villa's been playing in the top flight of English football for decades, but have struggled to fight at the top of the table. Founded 150 years ago in 1874, the club has spent 110 of those years in the first division of English football. Of all the clubs, Aston Villa is second only to Everton in the amount of years spent in Division 1, now known as the Premier League. This means they've been used to life at the top, so when they were relegated to the Championship in 2016, things needed to change. The major turnaround for the Midlands club came when they were bought up by two aspiring owners in 2018. Saviors arrived in the shape of Egyptian billionaire Nassif Sawiris and American billionaire Wes Edens, as they came in to buy up 55% of the club while Sawiris went on to become chairman. They also stole Liverpool CEO Chris Purslow, who had overseen a massive overhaul of that team under Jurgen Klopp. Wes Edens' history of owning NBA team the Milwaukee Bucks gave him the sporting background needed for the pair to base their decisions on. The club went through some money struggles under the ownership of Chinese businessman Tony Xia, so this was a much-needed breath of fresh air at a time when they were heading to football hell. Having to put up with dodgy managers like Steve Bruce and Dean Smith to steady the ship and instill discipline just meant the football on the pitch was poor, as they desperately tried to hang on to their best players after going down. The 3 years they spent in the championship were bleak, with their first season ending in a pretty pathetic 13th place finish. The Midlands club managed to get it together and hit the playoffs in back-to-back seasons, with promotion finally coming in year 3, after finishing just 5th in the league. They were not exactly crushing it down there. Despite taking 3 years to get back to the Prem, rumors swirled around the sale of fan favorite and club youth product Jack Grealish. The ball magnet out on the left wing was also the focus of many opposition defenders who marked him out to become the most fouled player in the league, which adhered him to Villa fans even more, as he was a constant target on the pitch. They must have been gutted and left questioning the process and progress of the new ownership when Jack Grealish was eventually sold to Premier League leaders Manchester City. However, it must have been cushioned by the £100 million fee they received for him. The fans knew they had to trust the new men in charge to use that money wisely. The injection of cash was not a cure for Aston Villa's mid-table woes, as an experimental stint with Steven Gerrard as manager must have been an embarrassing loss to take for the new ownership. That gamble failed quickly, as the Liverpool legend possibly got into Premier League management too early, as he could not transfer his success from his time at Rangers. Another tough start to a season meant Stevie G didn't even reach a full calendar year in charge at Villa. But there were some positives during the early years of Sawiris and Edens' ownership. Fan favorite John McGinn was signed for just €3 million and was paired with Douglas Luiz, who formed a formidable partnership as the club climbed up the leagues. Douglas Luiz was a secure gamble to make at the time, as the young Brazilian midfielder was brought in on loan from Manchester City on a buyback clause. The Manchester team never used their clause, so Luiz was signed by Villa for just £16 million and is currently worth over $50 million according to Transfer Market's price estimate. Ollie Watkins was also an incredible pickup from then championship hopefuls Brentford for a fair price of €34 million. Since his arrival, Watkins went on to represent England, passed the 50-goal mark for Villa, and recently added assists to his game. These assists are an indication of the attacking changes moving players up the pitch to support the striker, who had prior been playing in teams that left him isolated and unable to provide for others. Combine that with the addition of dressing room leader Tyrone Mings, another excellent championship signing in right back Matty Cash, and a steal of a signing in Argentinian #1 goalkeeper Emi Martinez from Arsenal, and the team looked a lot more solid at the back. However, the team was still disconnected, and it wasn't until the ownership started making moves elsewhere in the club that momentum really started to push them in the right direction. After the managerial trials and tribulations, the Claret and Blue really went for it with the signing of Unai Emery to take over from Steven Gerrard. The seasoned Spanish manager had an immediate impact in terms of overall team organization and made it a point to create quality chances above all else. The ex-Arsenal manager enjoyed his most productive stint as manager since his time spent at Paris Saint-Germain with an impressive 1.9 points per match at Villa Park. The players immediately reacted to the high level of coaching combined with tactical discipline that saw them wait for better quality chances based on a solid defense. The changes in the transition from defense to attack meant that the team had more options and outlets to move the ball forward. This culminated in more options in and around the box, while also creating a safer progression of the ball, which was easier to recover if ball possession was temporarily lost. The club also continued to bring in impressive signings backed by the ownership as they saw Unai put the club on the right tracks, but the manager also garnered performances out of players on the fringes of the starting lineup. Wingers like Leon Bailey responded well to Emery's methods. The midfield barely changed and went from strength to strength, and ex-Barcelona left-back Luca Digne also seemed to 180 his career under Unai's motivating techniques. The impressive start was not a fluke, as in the calendar year of 2023, Aston Villa were only second to league champions Manchester City in total points won over that time. This is a time where Villa had to juggle European Conference League competition into the schedule while dealing with a raft of injuries to all positions that called on a deep squad to maintain high levels. This belief and confidence in the manager proved to the owners that the next stage of their plan could be put into place, and that was to look for the best sporting director in the business to manage everything off the field. Ramon Rodriguez Verdejo, otherwise known as Monchi, was plucked off his throne at Sevilla to partner fellow Spaniard Emery in how to bring in the best players possible. Monchi is considered a master in his role, not just in terms of finding quality players, but also value in the market. He's famous for buying players at Sevilla for below market price and selling them high while not impacting the club's competitiveness. The added bonus of the Spanish connection with Unai Emery combined to give them a level of knowledge of Spanish football, only matched by the Man City group. It didn't take them long to get to work. Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the video. I just wanted to say that if you're getting value from the content and want to keep up to date with our latest uploads, then make sure to hit that subscribe button, as it means a lot to me and will help the channel grow. Thanks, and back to the video. The summer of 2023 was the first transfer window Unai and Monchi worked together, and Villa made a big splash with Moussa Diaby signing for €55 million. The ex-Paris Saint-Germain youngster was highly praised by several big clubs after year-on-year improvements at Bundesliga side Leverkusen. Finding a partner for Watkins, who was mobile and had a great pressing discipline, gave Emery the flexibility he needed to counter-attack, possess the ball, or counter-press upon losing the ball in the attacking third. The versatility of young Italian Nicolo Zaniolo for a loan fee of $5 million was smart business, as was bringing in Leicester City first-team regular and highly sought-after Belgian center midfield international Yuri Tielemans on a free transfer. Monchi was working his magic in his first summer transfer window in charge. The pinnacle of the Monchi-Emery partnership and the club's progress as a whole was completing the signing of highly desirable Spanish center-back Pau Torres. Ex-Villarreal defender had worked under Unai just before he moved to the Birmingham club, but they just waited until the right time to make the deal that really made everyone take note. Working with Emery again must have been a significant factor for Pau to want to sign for Villa, but overall it's tough to emphasize just how important this signing was for the club. Torres had had a tremendous run for Villarreal in recent years, leading up to the transfer that garnered interest in him from some of the best clubs in the world. From FC Barcelona to Manchester United, there did not seem to be a price high enough for the Spanish international. Coming into his prime as one of the few world-class left-footed center-backs in the world, this really signified to other clubs that Aston Villa can compete with anyone else for players. The Spanish Trinity had been set, as the club had directorship, management, and an on-field leader in Torres that sent a message to everyone to watch out. Torres' importance has been signaled by his absence through injury since arriving, but with the addition of fellow Spaniard Alex Moreno and pairing him with previously signed ex-Sevilla giant Brazilian center-back Diego Carlos, they've had the makings of one of the best defenses in the league. Couple that with the ever-present World Cup winner Emi Martinez behind them, consistent performances from Matty Cash and tireless work from McGinn and Luiz in the center midfield, and you have a team that is very hard to beat. However, there's more behind becoming a world-class team than simply just the players. Pep Guardiola understood this like no one else and was able to create perhaps the greatest football team to ever grace the pitch. So check out this video to see just how he did it and cemented himself as one of the greatest managers of all time.